Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a fantastic live presentation we're going to have today. I am so thankful that Donna Fox is in the house. She's going to be with us. For those of you who don't know who Donna is, we'll introduce her and I'll let her introduce a little bit of herself as well. But yeah, I'm gonna bring Donna on, and as you come on the stream, just hit a hashtag live in the chat so we know who you are and where you're coming from, and we're gonna let you have some questions. You can put them in the chat. I'm gonna try to keep up with the questions in the chat, but I'm not great at that, so we're gonna do our best. Hey, there we go. Nice. We got our first good morning or good afternoon wherever you are. So hey, here's Donna. Donna Fox from Groove Digital. We are excited to have you. Welcome.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Kevin.
You bet. So for those of you joining, why don't you give us a little bit like who are you and what do you do, Donna?
Perfect. I am Donna Fox. I am one of the co-founders and also the CMO of Groove Digital. Happy to be here. It's my passion to bring the best software platform for digital marketers in the universe to you. And that is absolutely our big, hairy, audacious goal. So
Nice.
that's what I work for every single day to make that a reality.
So yeah, and today we're going to be talking about Groove Mail, which I've heard you say in the past that's kind of your baby of the babies. Would that be true?
It absolutely is. My approach to business is very customer centered. And the primary way that we communicate with our customers is through email. And the we here I'm saying is not Groove only, but we as digital marketers, uh, that email pathway is our path to communicating with our customers. They don't walk in our storefront. That's how we have conversations with them. So it's my baby because it is the one area of the app that represents what I think it means to be running a real business where you're nurturing a relationship with a group of people.
And I think so. Just working with entrepreneurs and especially people who are just starting out with the business, I think there's really most of us don't understand how critical that is. The list, I think for myself included, when we got online, we started working with online marketing. We want to sell something, and everybody wants to sell something, but we don't. I think we don't realize how much you have to start with building a list, especially if you don't have one, which again a lot of people don't.
No, it's partly because people who are talking about online marketing are telling you how easy it is, that they overlook the fact that it is a business and you have to run a business. And part of the running of a business is the marketing efforts to get people in the door. They don't just walk into an online presence. It is not a situation like Field of Dreams, where if you build it, they will come. The internet does not work that way. So that part often gets glossed over. And it gets glossed over because that's the job of managing an online business. And no one wants a job, and a job isn't very glamorous to talk about. But the hardest thing that you will do when it comes to running your online business is getting eyeballs to your page, getting the traffic, and the traffic is the first step to building a list. So once you've done the hardest thing, getting someone to your page, and they join your list, you better do the best job you absolutely can to keep them on that list because you've worked so hard to get them. And the good news is, after you get them on your list, then it becomes about the relationship. Then it's easy. Then it is about communication and being yourself and sharing the love and giving value. And that you want to do as best as you possibly can. That's also part of the day-to-day running a business. But I look at that as like asset nurturing. The lead generation is the job. And then once they're on your list, that individual, that person is an asset to your company. And that asset should be treated like that. They should be treasured and cherished and nurtured.
Man, that's just really, really good stuff. I know for myself, I heard again, I'm brand new to online marketing. Most of I was a pastor for 27 years, so I'm like just figuring it out. And I was told early on, how much easier it is to sell to someone who has already purchased from you, and how
Yes.
much they really are. And I just have been amazed that I've found that to be true. And I think, again, going into it, I didn't realize how important it was to build those relationships. Let's see here. Adolphe says it's more expensive to get new clients than to keep your existing ones. Nurture your list to keep existing customers. Then it cuts off there.
Yep, that's spot
Yeah.
on. Yeah, you're exactly
Yeah.
right.
Well, so today, one of the reasons I've been talking to Donna and asking her to come and talk with us is, for myself, we help people set up their Groove systems. And so we get into the situation where we're setting up Groove Mail. And when we set up Groove Mail, there are these basic things we have to do first. So in order for us to do what you just said, to have a list, to nurture a list, we need to sort of intelligently build not just the list, but the structure for the list. So, for me, when I started out with Groove Mail, I mean, if I took you in and showed you my dashboard, you would see like 27 lists. Most of them, which were some iteration that I went, oh no, that's not a good way to build a list. So I moved everybody into another list and into another list. And so that's what I find with other people. Well, what should I name my list, or how should I decide whether they go on a different list or the same list? So maybe you can just talk a little bit about that, and you can take whatever path you want to, because I know, you can tell us how to build a list, but actually inside of Groove Mail, how do we determine we need another list, what to name the list?
Okay, so I'm going to start by saying that the way that I think is very radially. So I'm going to hop from strategy to tactic and back and forth, just as it makes sense for me. So buckle up. We're gonna have a good ride here, because there's a lot
I
to
got my
unpack.
notepad. I'm ready.
Great. There really is a lot to unpack in this topic. There's a lot to talk about. There's stuff, we're all Groove members here. So there's stuff about doing what you can do in Groove. There are best practices for email in general. And then there are some strategy or philosophy. And I want to start there because you asked the question about the list and how many lists and what should you name your list. And so this all goes into building a good structure from the start. And the more thought that you put behind the structure as you're building it from the start, the less cleanup work you're going to have to do in the future. So I am a planner. I like to plan things out. Often planning is by the seat of the pants, then that's the plan sometimes when it has to be. But if you have the moment to think it out, I would think about your list structure along these lines. First of all, you have different lists rather than one big list because you are delivering information about different topics or different products. Okay. So you want to create lists that are either topic related, product related, or both. So I want to talk about one of my favorite hobbies, which is yoga. I know there are a lot of yoga practitioners out there. I am one of them. And I love it as an example for a niche to use because I can talk about marketing terms when I'm talking about you as a business owner and yoga terms when I'm talking about what you're delivering to your customer. So for this moment, we'll all pretend that we're yoga instructors right now.
That's great.
Okay. So I might have a list that is opted in to get my free yoga lesson, which is my lead magnet. A lead magnet is the thing of value that you give in exchange for someone to get on your list. So as a brand new yoga instructor that wants to get online, I might start with, let me do a free class. If I'm trying to get people to go to my yoga classes, if I'm trying to get them to buy online ones, I might do a book. I might, there might be a whole series of things that I want to be my lead magnet, but we're going to talk about a class. Okay. So I'll create a yoga class that I put online for free. Now in Groove, I would do that in Groove Webinar. Okay. I would have people opt in to attend to get my free yoga class. And then I would put those people on a list. And that list would be the free yoga class list. I would even call it free yoga class, that's an excellent name for a list name. When people, and the reason why you name your list certain ways is when people want to unsubscribe. That's when your list name becomes important, because when they hit the unsubscribe button, they go to a page that tells them what lists they are on. So you want to make that list name sound like something that they want, and they signed up for a free yoga class. So it's actually a perfect list name. You don't want to put leads or prospects or potentials or any words that make people sound like they're part of the masses. That's not the experience that you want the user to have on the other end when they click the unsubscribe button. Does that make sense, Kevin?
That is perfect. And I'm glad you said it that way, because that's when I started renaming my lists. When I went and clicked, I just wanted to see how unsubscribe worked. And I clicked on it and I saw these, 15 lists, and some of them were just my own marketing terminology. And I went, dang, I don't want people to see. That's not how I want, just what you said. That's not the experience I want them to have. So that is really, really critical to think, what are they going to see? And when they go to choose, really, it's in the unsubscribe. That's the only place they see the list, I think.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Absolutely.
The list name, I should say.
And that is why in Groove, we have both an internal and an external list name. So an internal list name might say opt in on whatever page you've put it on, so that you remember where you're building that list from. And the external page name is what the member sees when they click on the unsubscribe link.
Oh my gosh, that was like worth the call. Okay, so that's actually really helpful. So you can put more of that description in your internal name, but then the external is what they're going to see. Perfect.
Yep. Now, I will say we haven't been great inside Groove yet about making sure that when an internal name is used, that's what shows up in a table or on a. We're working on all of those things. So, but that's ultimately the end goal right now. So we have that in Groove Cell, where there's an internal and an external name, but the internal name isn't what's always displayed when you're inside your account. So we're making those moves. We're making their shifts. We know they're an issue, and they're on the very, very long list of improvements that we have for Groove.
Yes. Good deal. Good.
All right. So that's list building. Now, I'm a yoga instructor. I've got my first free class out there. I'm building up a list. I am ready to do a 12-week yoga, learn how to do splits training. So that's my next training. I'm currently learning how to do splits, actually. So it makes for a good topic.
I won't be learning that.
It's very interesting at 50 years old to be trying to do a split for the first time in my life. But things that are worth doing are worth practicing. So now I'm ready to create my course on how to do splits. And I create it in any way that I want. I make videos, I make ebooks. That's not, we could go deep there, but we're not going to, because we're talking about mail here. I create a new list, and this new list might be called 12-week yoga course members. Descriptive. They know what the benefit is. They know why they're on the list. It makes perfect sense to them. So, and then in that case, do I take my entire list and add them to this new list? Absolutely not. In fact, you almost never want to add someone to a list. You want them to add themselves to your lists by actions that they take. You will never go wrong doing it that way. You might go wrong doing it another way. So in this case, you would send an email to the existing list and say, are you interested in my 12-week yoga class? Maybe you're developing an interested list, a prospect list, we would call it only internally. Maybe you're developing a prospect list of people who are interested in it. So you would send them to one list. And then maybe after they buy the course, they go to another list, the members of that course. Now you have a subset of people on a list where you can communicate to them. All right. So are you ready for me to get to the next level?
This is great stuff. Great stuff.
The next level of this is you could also tag that person.
The tags.
Yes.
Now we get to the tags. Good.
And if you tag that person, so anybody who comes through and orders the program, they could order the 12-week program. I could tag them that they ordered the program. And then when I mail them, I could just mail the people with those tags. So why do you need a list? Okay. You can do everything with tags. Why do you need a list? This is the distinction. Your list exists entirely 100% for your end subscriber. It's not for your convenience. It is for your end subscriber. Your list and being on that list is, think of your list as like levers, and your end subscriber can come and say, I want more of this information and less of that information. So if you only have one list, they have one choice, on or off. But if you have multiple lists, they are well named, and your user can say, I want more of this or less of this, more of this topic, less of that topic, by turning those lists on and off. You now have compelling reasons for people to stay on your list. And if you have someone that has a tag, the tag is for you. The tag cannot be removed by anyone but you. So a tag is a beautiful thing for you to help sort and organize your lists and make communications the way you want to. But the list itself exists for the purpose of your subscriber being able to say they want more or less of that information. It is a huge shift, and it's not a lot of people are talking about how to manage lists this way. And I think that it's absolutely crucial for the kind of nurturing conversation relationship you want to have with your users.
Maybe I can just sort of interject, Donna, that so I think one of the reasons that we might be afraid to just use tags instead of making a list for every separate thing is that we don't understand how to use segments. Because, we think we have to put them all in basically some of us have used lists as segments. And so with segments, which I just noticed yesterday that they showed up again. So they were missing from when you went to create a broadcast, and yesterday they were there.
I'm pretty sure that's my fault. I kept crashing segments.
Well, I'm glad they're back because it's so powerful, because now you can grab people irrespective of their list. You could have people tagged on different lists, but they all have the same tag. So you can just send to that tag through a segment. And we don't need to really talk about segments, but I do think that's important. That gives you the freedom, I think, to build the list, like you said, add the tags for your own use. And that's part of the use, right? Is to be able to target via tag instead of just by list.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Segments are a really powerful way for you to, like, let's say I wanted to do a promotion. And so I'm 2 years into my yoga business, and I have all sorts of things now. I've got a boot camp, I have videos, I have all sorts of training, maybe even live coaching, all kinds of things. And I want to offer a new high-level inner circle yoga mastermind. And I want to only offer that to people who have taken these 3 particular courses of mine. Now, I don't need to make a list. I don't need to do a search, figure out who took those 3 courses, and put them on a list. And then tomorrow, when somebody else buys that course, maybe they're not added on the list because they weren't there at the time of the search. They didn't appeal, or they didn't apply when I made the search term. This is how lists work. They're static. Unless you have another way to get someone on or off the list, it stays the way it does when you create it. What a segment does is it creates a dynamic search for you that you can then use. So a segment is a way to get people that only satisfy certain criteria without having to continuously make that search and update a list. Segments are super powerful. And when you create a segment that says anyone who purchased product A, product B, and product C, anytime someone purchases one of those products, that segment is automatically updated because the segment is dynamic at the time the email is sent, which is fascinating. And it basically, the moment an email is supposed to go out, it does a search and says who satisfies this criteria, and that's who the email goes to. So segmenting is a super powerful feature in Groove.
Absolutely. Let me have you answer a couple of questions. So so this question was, does the tag have the same purpose as the internal list? I think you kind of answered that, but you just want to give that another specific answer?
Yep. So in the list, you have two different kinds of list names. You have an external name and an internal name. That's at the list level. The tag lets you identify people within your database that may or may not be on a list. So you might have a tag that is customer, and that tag gets applied whenever anyone buys anything. So if you need to find who all of your customers are, you search for the tag customer. Now, you wouldn't want to create a customer list, or you might also want to create a customer list, but not only. You would also want to tag your customers because they can pull themselves off of a list, but they cannot remove a tag.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. It helps keep your info. You may not be able to mail them because they've unsubscribed. That's another discussion for another day. But it does give you an accurate number of your customers because that tag can only be removed by you.
That's great. Are there a limit to the number of tags we can create?
Absolutely not. You can create as many tags as you would like. I recommend that you spend some time thinking about what your tagging philosophy or process or system will be. All tags need an architecture attached to them. It needs to be one that makes sense to you. I could tell you what we use. It doesn't really matter. It's about your brain and how you think about things and how you want to organize. The more descriptive you make your tags, the easier your life is going to be. And then also we have on our list, I don't know when it will be released. I cannot wait for it to be released. Something called self-deleting tags, which will allow you, when you set up a tag, to determine how long you want that tag to sit on someone's account.
Wow.
So yes. So for instance,
Nice.
I always create a tag called new buyer. And that new buyer tag gets applied whenever someone gives me money. They give me money, they get a new buyer tag. If the new buyer tag were self-replicating, self-deleting, then after 30 days, that tag would be removed. Now, you can do this with an automation. You can do it with a sequence. You can have a sequence that says, it starts when someone gets the tag added that says new buyer, wait 30 days, remove the tag and the sequence. It's as simple as that, but this would be kind of a built-in automation to tags just to make our lives a little easier. So then what happens is when we send an email that's a salesy prospecting email, maybe we're doing an affiliate promotion for someone, we send it to everybody that's on that list, any given list based on the topic, send it to someone on that list that doesn't have the new buyer tag. So if the new buyer tag is in place, if they're in a refund period, I try not to send them marketing messages. So having that tag allows you to do that. So you can do it through an automation currently as is, and then at some point we'll have deleting tags. I think deleting tags are super important because it allows you to save an automation. So I'm all about trying to keep your back office as clean and organized as possible. So it
Yeah.
saves you an automation, but it also saves you from having thousands of tags on your users that you will never use. This is a
Yes.
huge problem whenever I have somebody that is interested in moving their list from Infusionsoft. Their list comes with just hundreds and hundreds of tags, and it's too much. Because they're created at a time and for a purpose, but most of us, the time and purpose of our tags is very short term. So.
Yeah. That's really helpful. So with the tags though, there are categories, right? So to me, that's a level of complexity that's difficult to navigate. Can you talk a little bit about the categories for tags?
Yeah, and I'm going to do it in the most simplistic way possible. I am
That's
not
good for
trying to
me.
talk down to anyone by talking about it this way. So just keep that in mind. This is actually the way I think about it. Your categories is like your filing cabinet. You open it up and you have files. Those files are your categories. So it's a very personal level to decide how you want to categorize something. Do you want to categorize it by the funnel name, the product name, the topic name, maybe multiples? It is entirely up to you. And this is why I think it's important to sit down and think about these things and how you would want to implement them. So for
So
me,
go ahead.
in categories, I like to think about categories as types of communication when I'm thinking about the tag categories, groups of people. So I might have refund tags where all my refunds are in one tag block, or I might have product tags where all the products have all the tags and then the category is the product. So
Yeah.
those are two different ways that I might think about something. Really, categories, you can put everything in the same category. They're
Right.
not, no one sees it but you. It is your filing system. Make it personal, make it make sense to you. There's no right answer in this case.
It seems to me that the categories though, they don't have much of a function at this point. Not yeah, the categories, because we can't segment by them, right?
Right. It
And
it's
when
just
you
for you. It's a
okay,
filing cabinet for you.
just for
It helps
organizing your
you
tag.
organize and find things faster.
Okay.
That is absolutely the reason.
Okay, that's great. Shelly says, I'm wondering what your basic foundational tags are that you'd say are good to use. You just mentioned customer as a tag. I'm curious if you have some others.
Yes. Yeah. New buyer, customer, refunded, um, refund reason codes, if that's important to you, might make a good tag. I put products, uh, courses, catalogs that they have access to. Um, and then all sorts of tags that I use that are temporary tags that are meant for promotional periods. Those are some of the standard tags that I would have, and I would not want them to go away. If someone bought a product, I would want that purchased product. If they refunded it, I would want, and in this case, if let's say they purchased a Groove ebook that we created, so they would get a tag that said purchased Groove ebook, and then if they refunded it, I would have a refunded Groove ebook. There are no Groove ebooks for sale, by the way. I would have a refunded Groove ebook tag, and I would remove the purchased Groove ebook tag. So now I'd be able to know anyone who actually has the ebook. If I wanted to know people who refunded it, I could, but they're tagged separately now. So
Yep.
that's one of the ways I would use tags. When you start getting issues with customers and you get your spidey sense tingling and you look up your customers, you can look and see, oh, they've refunded every product that I've ever had, So those are great kinds of tags. You might tag someone based on key interest. They've been interested in a topic. So if you engaged in a page or opted into something that I had, I have my yoga class, but then I say I'm doing a special meditation training, which isn't exactly yoga. I might use that to see if you're also interested in meditation topics. So I throw out a yoga topic and start building a meditation list as a result of it to my yoga customers. And now I have a more targeted list that I can send a related content to. Now, I am warning, when it comes to best practices in nurturing your list, I'm not going to email my yoga list about affiliate marketing software. That's not going to happen because they didn't sign up for that. But you can make slightly related things, especially if you can bring it back to them. And I do caution you that any good marketer can bring any topic to anyone. But if they haven't signed up specifically for something related to you, if you mail them about it, that is considered spam. That is definitely not best practices, and you didn't learn it from me.
So how would you give us so you have the list of people that did sign up for yoga, and you're thinking of well, I'll go to my example. So I'm getting ready to launch an SEO service, but my customers didn't sign up for that.
Yeah.
I could just say, hey, start talking about it and see who's interested and just kind of narrow the list that way. Is that what you would do?
That is exactly how I would do it, as an aside almost. So in this case, let's say, going back to the yoga, and it's going to be something similar like nutrition, maybe. They didn't sign up for nutritional advice from me. It's related. They might be interested. I can make a good argument. So I would send yoga messages, and in a PS and aside, what's called a Johnson box, where you take out a box and actually create a box in your newsletter, as news about me, any way that I could tie it into the conversation and say, PS, if you're interested in nutrition, I've begun working with this company. Click here to find out more information. It's a PS. It's not, as long as the core message that you've sent them is something that they're interested in, you can tack on other things without really violating their trust. And especially if it's coming from a position of, here's something else that I think you might need or want, and you're not hammering them with emails about that thing specifically. You're just inviting them to take part, and then they become a member of that list, and now you have them on a new topic and can email them specifically about that topic.
Can we tag somebody if they click on a link right now?
Yes, it just got pushed live.
It did?
Yes.
I was expecting a no, not yet, but look at that.
It literally just got pushed live. Sometimes
I have this banner that's ready.
One of the best things that we can do
add it here
is have additional promotions. Yes, it is breaking news.
Breaking. That's cool.
We are doing a movie promotion that starts next week, and I wanted that feature for the promo, and it got pushed through because I needed it. So it was always on the plan, but sometimes things get taken out of the in fact, I'm sure our devs hate it when Mike and I do this, but we go to them and say, that feature we've been planning for 3 months from now, we need it now. And that happens from time to time. And that happened when it comes to tagging links. So
is that an automation, or is it built into GrooveMail itself?
It is in GrooveMail. I don't know whether it's live on the live server or on the test server, but it is going to be on the live server within days if it's not on the live server now. So yeah, that's definitely breaking news. So the way it is designed, and I don't know if it's coming out that way in its first iteration, is that you should be able to select any of the links and tag based on different links. So if you sent an
That's
email,
great.
and this is exactly how I would use it and recommend that you use it, send
Yep.
an email to your list and say, I am interested in, I'm creating some new information. I have a couple of new ebooks that I'm coming out. Would you be interested in any of these ebooks? Just click on the link to find out. And each one of those links, you could have ebook titles. You could also do topic titles and ask them to select topics, send them to the next place. But anything that you want, those words can be links, which can create a tag, which can give you topic information.
That is fantastic. Love
Yep.
it.
Yep. I'm super excited about this feature.
And so whether they clicked on a link, I think that's part of segmentation as well now. We can create segments based on whether they opened or clicked, I think.
You should be able to, yes. Yeah.
That's very
Yeah.
cool. Okay, good.
We
Great.
have so much in development coming for GrooveMail. We really are just scratching the surface. And most of what we've been doing has been in the background structure building of GrooveMail. So we have so many plans, things like split testing subject lines and body and automatically resending to unopens. Those kinds of things are all in the plan.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
So,
coming.
I'm gonna have Shelly asked a question. I wanna see if we can answer. You can answer that, and
Mhm.
then I wanna come back to this, what's planned. So, can we remove a tag from the Groove system after we're finished using it?
Absolutely. If you just go
Great.
into the tag section, you can delete your tags and it will delete it from all of the users that have that tag. So you can absolutely manually delete your tags. I highly recommend that you do it.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about some of those foundational tags that I would always keep around. There's a host of other tags that I would use for promotions, and it might be clicked offer, registered for a webinar. We did a bunch
Yep.
of webinars recently, and everybody got a tag for the date and time they were registered for. And then that helped us trigger automations down the line. We didn't need those tags to stick around any longer than the 24 hours that that webinar was running, and all those tags can get deleted. That is truly the best practice when it comes to managing your list. It doesn't really impact anything in terms of the relationship with your list. It's all about your sanity. I highly recommend that you delete old tags and get them out of your system. It's like taking out the trash after a promotion.
Yes, that's really helpful, and, I can, like, visualize right now the, plethora of tags that are in my system that need to be deleted. So
Yeah.
good call.
This is why the
Um,
auto delete is so important.
yes,
Yeah.
that would be
Because
great.
we know if we're doing a promo that we won't need those tags in 2 months or even a
Well,
year,
even if they,
whenever.
like you say, even if they register for a particular webinar at a particular space in time, we need that now. But like,
You
because I just launched a webinar yesterday, and it has specific tags, and I was thinking when I did it, this is just going to be more tags on people, but it'll be really helpful to have those. What do you call them? Auto delete,
auto deleting tags,
auto deleting tags.
self-deleting tags.
Nice. Somebody said, if somebody who shall remain nameless at this point, if you delete a tag, does it delete the email subscriber? Do you lose the
No,
person? No,
no,
absolutely
not at
not.
all. Just the tag itself.
Yep. Very good. Okay. So, I'm going to let you, if you have something else you want to share. I have a couple of questions, but do you have a direction you want to go before I ask those?
Well, I have a lot of things to talk about. So, there are a couple of other things. We were talking about setting up the list, the tags. There's also a couple of other things that you need to set up to make sure that you're inboxed. And one of them is the email address that you're using, the sender email address. That's an important thing for us to cover. Now, if you're not using a system aside from Groove to send your emails, if you're using a different system, they might let you use a free email address like a Gmail or Hotmail. Don't do that. We specifically block it in Groove, and it's for good reason. those email addresses are not meant to be used for any sort of bulk or commercial email, and you will get flagged as a spammer for doing it. So that's why we put a hard block on it and don't let you. The other thing that we force in Groove is we force you to have a real email address, because in order to verify that email address as a sender, you have to go and click the link to verify the email address. So it has to be a real email address. Not all email service providers will do this. This is very specific to Groove, and it is designed for us to get the highest deliverability possible as a group for all Groovesters. We know that it is better to get inboxed if the email address that you're sending from is a real address. I want to take it one step further. We don't force you to do this, but I highly recommend it. I highly recommend that the reply to for that email address also be a real email address that goes to a real person that gets responded to. That is a key and crucial aspect of getting the absolute highest deliverability that you can. This is not something that Groove can help you with. It's about best practices. And the best practice is that your email address should be one for two-way communication. So that is super, super important when you set it up. We have been, if any of you have been in our IP warming sequence, when we launched Groove Mail, we added everyone and said, can you help us? This is our IP warming sequence. Click a few links, save a few emails. It helps just improve the sender reputation all around. That is done not only for improving Groove as a sender, like our personal business email address at groovedigital.com, but also the IP addresses of the entire group of Groovesters as well. The more two-way communication happens, the more other email providers who are providing email to people realize that this company is a valid company. Conversations are happening. We're not spammers. We're going to put you in the inbox. So it's super, super important. That can go to a support person on your team. It doesn't have to be you. Maybe it is when you're getting started, but it doesn't always have to be you. And often that is the first thing that you outsource to a VA, is handling that inbox.
That's good. I have a couple of questions here. Well, this one kind of gets to the blocked question, but it's a little bit more specific. So I know Shelly is one of my customers, but she it looks like the email I use for my Groove account has been listed on the hard bounce email list in the Groove system. So it appears I'm not receiving all the Groove emails due to this. I'm wondering what causes an email to be added to the hard bounce list and what to do about it if it happens to be a student or a client. That's a great question, actually.
Great question, Shelly. So if it happens to you or a student or a client, you can send a support ticket in, send an email to support@groovedigital.com. Tell them that a true email is bouncing. If you have a message from a client or an email from your client that you can show that it's a real email, that's helpful. Anything that you attach to a support ticket, kill our support people with information. Send them more information than you think you need to. Trust me, especially on that first email to them. Overload them, send them screenshots, send them, give them everything that they could possibly need. And we can remove those hard bounces. They happen for a lot of reasons. One is a hiccup in the system. Hang on, sorry. On a live stream. Sorry about that. Launch mode.
Yeah.
So a hiccup in the system. If for some reason we don't get the signal back that the email is a valid one, or it reaches, let's say Gmail puts a limit on it or something, it bounces back for any number of reasons, it could be triggered as a hard bounce in the system. So it doesn't usually happen for issues, but does, I mean, it doesn't usually happen for, what am I trying to say here? I'm sorry. You don't usually get false negatives. That's what I'm trying to say. But sometimes it does happen. And it did happen to us with a bunch of emails a while back. So those should have been cleaned out of the system, where a bunch were inappropriately marked as a hard bounce. That's part of the back end stuff that we were doing. They should have been deleted, but if it didn't get deleted at the time, please do send an email to our support team and let them know that it is a real email address and it needs to be removed from the hard bounce list.
That's great. Really helpful. So Shelley, I think you've contacted them several times. What are some specifics she can send? You said lots and lots of information. What can she specifically send to them to sort of get that fixed?
Yeah. So in this case, if you got an email from your customer, forwarding that to our support team would help. It would let them know. They would be able to see that it is a real email that has two-way communication in it. That's probably the strongest. It also doesn't hurt us to remove it, have an email sent, and get the bounce again. So in this particular case, you don't have to send them much. But in general, when you're contacting our support team, overshare. It's always better to overshare.
Yeah, she said she contacted them once and they said it was removed, but then it wasn't cleared up.
Yeah.
So again, she's talking about her email address, trying to get email from Groove. I think she's missing that. So so write them again.
Write them again. Write them again. It's the answer.
That's cool. All right, you were talking about where were you at? You were talking about.
So we had just talked about using a real email address and having a communication. There are some other things that you can do to get into the inbox. And probably the number one thing, absolute number one thing you can do is get your contact to add you to their address book. That is the number one thing that tells every email service provider, every place that you get your email from, that you're interested in what someone has to say, is by adding them to your address book. So that's kind of the golden ticket for us as email marketers. If we can get people to add us to their address book, then our emails are going to go into their inbox. So
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
The number one thing you can do. And the way to get that done is ask for it. Yeah. Just ask. Show them how to do it.
I see a lot of people that's kind of in almost every email. Is that something you should have every time, or just kind of when you're in your first contacts?
I use it the first.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, I don't remember. I thought it was safe. I thought it was groove.cm/safe list, but it is not. I don't remember where our safe list instructions are. But you will want to ask for that in the very first communication. Especially if you have reason to follow up with them, don't be afraid to ask.
That's good.
Safe list me, add me to your contacts. We provide a link with instructions. I don't remember what that link is right now, but we can follow up later with it.
Yeah, that's good. That'd be great. Just a little instruction for people.
It is at the top of all of our IP warming emails that we've been sending out. So we send them. In fact, it is a great example. What we have done with that IP warming sequence is an excellent example of what you should do to develop a relationship with your list. At the top of every email, we tell them why they're getting it, and we ask them to do the things that will help us improve our email deliverability, for the whole group. And one of those things is adding to the contacts and going through the safe listing process.
Yeah, good deal. All right. A real person email doesn't mean, I think I heard you say one time in some, broadcast somewhere, something about using a name on the email address versus inbox or mailbox or something like that.
Yes. Emails that are considered role-based emails. So support at, info at, sales at, any of the obvious ones generally don't get inboxed as well. So they often get sent to the spam just because they know that those aren't, they tend to not come from real people. They come from companies instead. So anytime you can use a real name for your email address, or if you want it to be a name, make it something that isn't a typical role. So we use Groovesters.
Yeah.
And Groovesters works because it's not a typical role. It doesn't mean anything to the filters. No one else is using it. So it's not on any radars as being a role-based email address, but it's not a person's name. We could have also used Groovezilla or Mike Fulsame, and we do send, from Mike Fulsame as well.
Yeah. Great. That's good. That's really helpful stuff. What else do you have?
All right, let's see. So I have a couple of notes here, and some of them are things, I'll just read them very, very quickly because some of them are pretty obvious. So
Okay.
I'm going to go lightning round. Don't purchase or rent a list. Just don't do it. Just don't.
Very good.
Make sure that you are creating a journey for them. Your copy, your information, the look and feel, the way you talk to your people should be the same no matter how they reach you and throughout the process of being with you. So if it's in an advertising, your advertising should match the pages that they land on. Your pages should match the emails that you get. Your emails should match the pages that you link to in your emails, in look, in feel, in spirit, in personality. So often we are schizophrenic in our marketing, and creating an actual journey for the person, walk them through the process that you want them to have, is really the best thing that you can do when it comes to nurturing the real person behind the email address on your list. Should your list be double opt-in or not?
That's a great question.
Yeah, that's one I thought. I'm surprised actually we haven't seen it pop up yet. That is a big one for people. There's also no right answer to this. It's about what your goal is. Not double opt-in will give you a bigger list for sure, and a less responsive list. You'll get lots of junk email on your list. It will eat up your contacts. If you're in a account level that has a contact limit, you might want to consider maybe doing double opt-in so you don't have a bunch of junk emails in your contacts. If you do double opt-in, you get a really nice list of people that are very interested in hearing from you, and your deliverability will be better. So I don't know of many marketers that use double opt-in. I think most of us prefer to go for more people and deal with some of the negative side of that than use the double opt-in confirmation. But you absolutely will get a stronger, better, more engaged list if you use double opt-in.
Is there a caveat to that in regard to GDPR?
If there is, I don't know. I don't think that requires double opt-in.
I am not positive myself, but I know my UK customers always do the double opt-in. But maybe that's interesting. I'm not sure if that I'm not sure what that is.
I don't know if it's required. I don't believe that it is required. But again, I think it's a strong way of solidifying the validity of your list and your relationship with your list. I mean, if someone can't be bothered to verify their opt-in, then they really don't want to connect with you. So it does keep a lot of junk out of your list. So that's a good thing. But that leads me to, you should also maintain your list by removing bad email addresses, undeliverables, people who have unsubscribed. Get them off of your lists.
Yeah. And don't keep putting them back on.
And we get attached to our data in such a way that we really should not be. Does it really matter to you that someone 3 years ago opted into your list, got an ebook, didn't buy anything, and hasn't opened an email in 6 months? Do you care that that customer was with you? He probably, or she probably, doesn't even remember you if they haven't been engaged in that long. But we hold on to those things as marketers. Why? Because it's so hard to get them in the first place. It's the hardest thing that you do. But also, you have to let them go. If people don't want to hear from you, let them go. They are energetically and physically creating blockages in your business. They're taking up contacts they don't need to be. If they are interested in you again, they will find you again. And I have a lot of faith that is a true statement, and it just allows you to let go of the ego of a list size, and truly delete people once they have made it very clear that they're not interested in hearing from you.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's it's also, that feeling of rejection when you see somebody unsubscribed, but I
Yeah.
think when you say, "You know what? They unsubscribed because they're not helping me." I mean, it's not a friend of mine who said, "I don't want to be with you anymore." It's somebody who doesn't want my business emails, and that's fine.
Right.
That
I mean, it
uh,
could be personal, but why would you believe that? Because it
yeah.
is a belief. And why would you choose a belief that's, painful to you? So just believe that your solution was not right for them and they have
Yeah.
moved on, and let them go with your blessing.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Shelly, or no, I'm not Shelly. Monica says, explain what the double opt-in is. Can you just explain sort of how it works?
Mm-hmm. So if you have your list set up to double opt-in, what happens is you have a email that goes out and asks them to confirm their email address. So I sign up, I use my email address. A double opt-in will trigger one email and only one email. And that email says, please verify, or confirm your email address. There's a link. That link gets clicked, and that makes that email address verified, confirmed, double opted in. That's what that is called. It stops people from, if I really wanted to, I could go sign up my closest frenemy to about 57 different really obnoxious email lists if I wanted to. And there's nothing stopping anyone from doing that to you. A double opt-in is a marketer's way of saying, I care. I don't want people to do that to you. I don't want you to get emails if you don't want them. This is how to verify it. So that's why a verification email exists. From you as a user, that person gets added to your contacts, but you can't email them at all until they click that verification link. That's what double opt-in is. So they sit in kind of a holding pattern, being unverified. And if someone isn't unverified after a period of time, you want to just delete them from your list because you can't send them any email. So that's the consequence of using double opt-in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think maybe you just said this, but if they did you just say if they don't get the first email, like if it goes into spam and they don't see it, right, then there's no way to really move it forward.
So generally, no. I don't know if we give you a second chance in Groove. Frankly, I haven't used the confirmed email, double opt-in email. I don't use it as a marketer. I'm not saying don't. I'm definitely not saying don't. If you want a good solid list, if you're interested in the size of your list staying under a certain limit, it might be a great way to do that. But I haven't used it. So I don't know if we can trigger it a second time. That's a very good question. You might be able to trigger a second one, but it does not happen automatically. And you cannot send a broadcast email. You can't send anything other than that confirmation email to them. Yeah. So you may be able to trigger it again. I don't remember. I have a vague memory of requesting that to be part of the process when we set it up, but since I don't use it, I don't remember what it actually is.
But it wasn't important for you and Mike, so it's still not part of the system. It wasn't didn't reach that priority yet.
There's a lot of truth to that.
Just following up on your comment from earlier.
Yep.
Okay, great. So, this is not really a Groove Mail question, but maybe we can hit it real quick. But I know Shelly, and I just had this with a customer of mine. She actually canceled her subscription because of this. So, there's a situation right now when people purchase, they get a Groove Cell email. And I've heard from Groove support that it's when they open it with Outlook, sometimes they get essentially a blank email. And I've said to people, open it in your Chrome browser in Gmail or something, and they can see it. That's been an issue that's been there a long time. And I think that's more of a, are you aware of that?
Yeah,
And
I'm
can
not aware
somebody
of
do
this.
something about that?
I'm not aware of it. I do know that we are very soon releasing a admin email builder for you, so you'll be able to have more control over your invoices.
Yep.
It might fixing this problem might be backburnered for that to happen. I don't know. I wasn't aware of it, but I can dig into it and find out, especially if you remind me after Monday when we kick off the launch and I can turn my attention to other things.
Hey, I think I saw this morning in GrooveCell now. I just saw this morning. I'm pretty sure in the settings for a funnel, they have added a new setting. I'm trying to pull it up here. There's a new setting that showed up. Let's see if I can go into the settings, which said basically what sender are we sending from? Something like that. Default sender. Okay, so when you're editing a product funnel, there's now this email sender, and you can change it to one of your senders. I'm thinking that means now that the automated emails are going to come from us.
Yes.
Is that right?
That is exactly what it means. Yep.
Okay. So we still can't edit the emails, but we can change it now so that it's not coming from GrooveCell. It's coming from our sender.
There you go. So yes,
that's great.
It's coming.
Well, I needed to put the breaking on that one as well. Hold on. Let's go back and
it's
say
also breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. just noticed it actually yesterday when I was building a new funnel for somebody. So yeah, very good. That's good stuff. Okay, does Donna have any copywriting tips for best engagement for landing pages? You know what? I bet she does, but I'm not going to make her answer that on this call about Groove Mail. Maybe we can, do a whole show on that. I'm sure you have.
I'll give you a one sentence answer.
Oh, good.
Write your copy in a way to make someone want your stuff.
There you go.
It's really as simple as that. Make it sexy, make it juicy, make it something that is desirable. Remind them that they are people in the desert seeking an oasis and that you have a cup of cold, icy water for them. Like that is the way to highly convert your landing pages. It's got to be about them. Agitate the problem, provide that icy water solution for them.
All right. This is a great question here that's this is another, what is the launch that is going on? So I need to go
Beautiful
here.
question.
Breaking.
Yeah, this is breaking. In fact, I will release a whole lot of breaking stuff right now, even stuff I'm not quite ready to talk about.
All right, let's
talk
hear it.
about what's going on in the life of Groove. So first, I will. Can I share my screen? Do you need to give me?
You should be able to. Yep.
Okay. So first of all, let me go in incognito so this loads properly. And there we go. All right. So first bit of breaking news.
So I don't have it showing up here yet. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. I'm slow. Okay. This is the first bit of breaking news. We have released new plans and packages. I literally pushed this live as I was waiting for this webinar to start. So it is brand new. You can go take a look and take a look at what the new packages are. I already have emails planned for a few people who are getting a worse deal right now that they have paid for than this new offer that we have that's being released today. So this new offer is something called our Premium Plus plan. And it is a new offer. If you grab this, your very first thing to do will be to register your free account. Don't do that if you already have an account. In a few seconds, I'm going to show you where you can actually see that information without registering your account first, just because you don't need to have an extra account just to do this. We are going to open up this OTO for everyone who has a free account. So even though it is a new sign up special, we're going to give some amount of time to our new members to decide that they want to take this new offer that we have. This package has 200,000 contacts, and it comes to $166 a month when you pay triannually. So there would be basically 3 payments of $9.97, which is 166 whatever a month, and that is for 200,000 contacts. It is the biggest, best package that we have considered. We're making some changes to the free program. Now our free program is going to be limited to just 1 year. We are going to announce this. What we have done is we have lifted some of the limits. So now you get a completely unlocked Groove pages. You can have as many pages, funnels, custom domains as you want. We're just limiting it in time now of 1 year. So we've moved the levers a little bit. You get more for a limited amount of time. And then we have some offers after that amount of time. So these are the new packages that literally just went live. Now, before you start asking about it, before you start asking questions, we are going to do a big discussion where we let you know what it's like, where we tell you what the affiliate program looks like. All of that is coming, but just give me a little bit of time. We need to do some back-end stuff to get people on the new system and get them in the right place. But more information on this is coming. But the consequence right now to this going live is that anybody that comes to our site brand new, gets a new free account, is now going to a one-time offer. So let me show you what that one-time offer looks like. You see it in the left column here, but if you had opted in and created a new account, you would see a one-time offer that looks like this. And this is the new one-time offer that is going to all people who get a new free account. So this just went live an hour ago. What this means is affiliates, after we moved from lifetime into monthly, they definitely saw a reduction in their affiliate commissions they were earning during those couple of months. And it's because we didn't have an offer in place. So now there's an offer, there's a no thanks, stay on this page if you want. And then there is a downsell. If you skip the offer, we go back to the plans page and we make another little offer. So there's an upsell, there's an OTO and a downsell now in place, and our affiliates should be dancing in the streets to hear this.
That's great.
So
I just heard Martin Bodeker say yesterday that it's harder to sell Groove now. So
yes, and that's a big part of it, is that there wasn't an offer in place.
Yeah.
It went from starting a free account to getting a thank you page. That was our sales process. So yeah, it's been, but it takes a lot of time to rework and we came out with new plans, but we knew they weren't exactly what we wanted. So it took a lot of time for Mike and I to think about it and create offers, plans that were fair, that were competitive, that had pricing that made sense for us as a business and you as an end user. And I think it's going to be really, really phenomenal for affiliates. So that is brand new. We still have a lot of work to do, lots of pages. But
that's awesome. You got one super affiliate already here. This is awesome. There goes the Wolof has spoken.
Thanks, Joanne.
So the question, another question is, so it's the free. What if they got free before this? Do they still have free for life?
Yep. So,
Okay.
no, no is the answer. I
Oh,
said I meant yes, but the answer is no. So here's how it's going to work. We're working on doing the programming, the back end that will allow us to set the timer for all of the free people to start for 1 year. So we're expanding your capacity, and then we will set the limit for 1 year. So that might happen in 2 days. It might happen in 2 weeks. I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but at some point there'll be a communication about this change to the free members and let you know that you have 1 year.
so it's going to be interesting because I have some customers that I've built funnels for that we built it in Groove and they got an account just so they could have their funnel built in Groove. They are going to now have to start paying a monthly fee, correct, after a year?
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then, so that brings the agency question into mind, so that, you know, at that point, can agencies, at what point will we be able to do the agency option where we can offer them the hosting?
So I don't know when our agency service will be ready. So I can't give you
Okay.
a when, I can't answer a when question. But when agency comes out, there will be an option for you to purchase licenses so that you can roll in the
Right.
yeah. So we'll still have paid members, paid users.
Right.
What with the unlimited um, lifetime free account, it created a situation where it was very generous, and there might be someone who would keep that account for the rest of their lives and never need to upgrade. And we just decided that it's time to be done with that offer and start to limit people to 1 year, which is still a crazy deal. No one else does more than 30 days. Like 1 year is pretty incredible. So
Yeah, for all of the pieces
yes.
together. Yeah, that makes sense. Good stuff. Um, do you have uh, do you have information on the Groove Mail Builder by chance?
I do not know that.
Okay.
Uh, I do not know.
Okay.
Um, I do want to answer Tony's question. The
Yeah.
original marketing was that the free plan was free for life. No, we will not honor that. It is our intention to be free for life. We changed our terms of service. There's no transaction here. We don't owe people who have free accounts anything. Everything that we give to free account members is a gift. And as much as I love this idea that we might not be honoring a commitment, we gave you a gift. And that gift was into perpetuity. And we decided to stop giving that gift for longer than a year. And I have absolutely zero problems with it. Obviously, we honor commitments when they are made by purchases. But when we're just being generous, we can decide how generous we want to be without having to answer to anyone. So
Good answer. Good question. This has been really, really great, Donna. And I want to just honor your time. I know you I know you got to get back to pushing some more buttons to get that launch.
would love to just, can I plug the movie?
Please do.
Love to
Yes.
plug the movie. If you guys want to head to thedigitalmarketingrevolution.com, we have a documentary movie that we are launching on Monday. So Monday is the launch for that. If you're interested in being an affiliate for that documentary, you can join the affiliate program. It's at thedigitalmarketingrevolution.com/JV. And we have some really incredible people that have been part of this documentary. We're talking about the different paths to online success, and we've interviewed some of the greats for this. So you can watch the trailer there. And on Monday, we're opening up free tickets to the documentary. It's absolutely free. Obviously, there's a promotion attached to it, as with all launches and all things that are free, but the movie ticket is free. It's worth watching, and I think I'm even in 2 scenes.
Marketing Revolution.com. The digital marketing revolution.com. That's it, I think. Yep.
Yeah.
That's great. And this is May 23rd. We're just, you say it's next Monday?
Yep, it's on Monday.
Yep. Awesome. All right, let's see. Thank you so much for the discussion. I so appreciate it. Was able to have big questions answered. Glad for that, Shelley. Thankful that you were here and had some really good questions. Everybody who came, thank you for being here. It's Facebook Live, so it'll be out there, and you can rewatch it when you want to. Donna, I'm gonna take some pieces of it where you specifically talk about lists and talk about tags and talk about that. I'm probably gonna take some of those and cut them into pieces and make them available just as little snippets, because
Perfect.
those were gold. As
I know
was
David Lemon is highly interested in repurposing this video too, so he may reach out to you to use it for our members as well.
That sounds good. Would be happy to do that. All right. Thank you again for making it work, Donna. We're grateful for all that you're doing there, and yeah, at least I am. I assume everybody else is.
My pleasure, guys. It is my delight to be here. Thank you for inviting me. If I had my way, I would spend all day talking to our members. So
I'm sure.
I love the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, great to have you. Okay, everybody, thanks for joining us, and we'll see if we can't get Mike Filsame on the next call. Donna, maybe you can help me on that one.
Yeah, good luck. It's hard for me to get on a call these days.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. All right, thanks. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for joining us.